Good evening and welcome to our Spring District Dialogue. My name is Dorcia Simmons. I'm Chief of Staff for Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr., who is the Fulton County Commissioner for District 5. District 5 encompasses Palmetto, Chattahoochee Hills, Fairburn, Union City, City of South Fulton, Atlanta, College Park, and East Point. If I left any out, you can go to our website at fultoncommission5.com. At this time, I want you to know who your community engagement reps are. We have with us Meetsa Henry, who is our community engagement rep for the north part of our district. Say hello, Meetsa.
Good evening.
And we also have Jarrell Sheeran, who is our community rep for the south part of our district. Say hello, Jarrell.
Hi, how you doing, everybody?
If you have any constituent concerns, or if you need to meet with Commissioner Arrington or our team, or you would like a proclamation, you can reach out to our community engagement reps, but you can also visit us on our website at fultoncommission5.com. So we are live today, but we will also have some other town halls for you. But District Dialogues is us coming to the district and bringing information. So tonight is just one of several that we have throughout the year. So without further ado, the man of the hour, Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr.
Good evening, everyone. So glad to be here with you, and glad that you all can join us for this homestead exemption tax haul tonight. We want to make sure that we inform all of the residents about all of the different property tax exemptions that are available. The deadline is coming up. It's April 1st. So you want to make sure that you apply for your exemptions. There are, we have an expert coming up that'll give us the exact number, but I believe there are like 37 or 38 different exemptions in Fulton County. So there are countywide county exemptions, and there are city exemptions. So depending on your city, you may have different exemptions. There are also exemptions for veterans and for disabled people. But again, we want to make sure that everyone, if you're living in a home, that we let people know about the homestead exemption. We want people to pay, everyone to pay their fair share of taxes and no more. And so one of the ways that property owners can save is through applying for a homestead exemption and other exemptions. And so certainly wanted to mention that. Also want to let you know we've got on March 13th, we're going to be doing another homestead exemption town hall in Fairburn at the New Beginning Senior Center. Also, and again, that's March 13th at 11 a.m. March 14th at 6 p.m. We'll be doing our third homestead exemption town hall at the Palmetto Library. And then finally on March 23rd, we'll be doing a public safety town hall with Councilwoman Helen Willis from the city of South Fulton, Chief Meadows, and Sheriff Patrick Labatt. And that will be at the Friendship Community Church in the city of South Fulton. So we look forward to seeing you at those events or having you join us. Again, you can find out all of this information at our website, fultoncommission5.com. Again, fultoncommission5.com. Of course, you can reach me on my cell phone at 404-441-8475. We look forward to being able to serve you. And without further ado, drum roll, please. We have with us tonight Mr. James Kevin Whitman, who is Deputy Chief Appraiser for Fulton County. Thanks for joining us tonight, Mr. Whitman.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you inviting me to be here, and it's an honor to be a part of this forum tonight.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to turn the floor over to you because you are the expert, and I want to make sure that we get the information to people that we need to get to them.
Yes, sir. I will certainly do my best at that tonight. I want to make sure I share my screen here. Make sure it's showing up right. Give me just a second on that. Okay. All right. Can everyone see that?
Yes, I can see it.
All right. Of course, I represent the Fulton County Tax Assessor's Office, and in this session, we're talking about homestead exemptions. Just real briefly, the Fulton County Board of Assessors is basically the oversight board for our office. Our office is responsible for the production of the property tax digest on an annual basis. And of course, we have a chief appraiser, Roderick Conley, who oversees our day-to-day operations. And I've listed our current members of the Board of Assessors. Ed London is the chairman of the Board of Assessors this year. Just briefly, our organization, you see a little high-level chart here, and on the left-hand side, under the administration portion, is where I fall. I'm responsible for our homestead division, as well as both field book and our GIS divisions. And so when we talk about homestead exemptions, what's important to understand, I guess, at the outset is that if you live in a house in Fulton County, you very well may qualify for a homestead exemption. And the homestead exemption is basically a legal provision. It's established by state law, by local legislation, that may serve to reduce the assessed value of an owner-occupied home. We'll talk a little bit about an assessed value here in just a moment. So you can apply for a homestead exemption at any time, at any point during the year. But the deadline in order to qualify for the current tax year is April 1st of each year. This year, April 1st happens to fall on a Saturday. And so we actually have until the following Monday, April 3rd, until 11:59 p.m. that evening to get your homestead application in. As Commissioner Arrington said, the time is drawing short. We're already in the first week of March. And so if you have not done so, we certainly want you to apply for a homestead exemption and get that applied to your property. Whenever we talk about the assessed value, I mentioned that just a little bit. Sometimes there is a bit of confusion over terminology as it relates to these things. All properties are appraised at their fair market value, basically the 100% value, or the value that typically someone would sell their home for on an open market. And our taxable date each year is January the 1st. The assessed value, when we reference that value, we're talking about the value that's used to actually calculate the tax bill. And that is typically 40% of the fair market value. That's statewide, all 159 counties. And so when we talk about the homestead exemption and its application in the tax bill calculation, the homestead exemption is applied to the assessed value. And of course, the end result is a reduction in your property tax bill that's calculated by the tax commissioner's office. And so the tax assessor's office has a responsibility to identify, to value property, to take homestead exemptions, to apply or deny those homestead exemption applications. And then, of course, the tax commissioner's office is responsible for billing and property tax collection. So we work hand in hand in the property tax process. As Commissioner Arrington also said, there are quite a variety of homestead exemptions that are available to the citizens of Fulton County. There are basic exemptions, and the only requirement for a basic homestead exemption is that the applicant both own and occupy the property as of January the 1st of the year that they're applying for. And so if you were Applying by April 1 for tax year 2023, you would need to own and occupy your property as of January 1, 2023. There are also special exemptions that, in addition to owning and occupying the property, you may qualify for, depending on your age and your income level. We have exemptions for which people qualify at age 62, at age 65, at age 70. And then the different exemptions have various income levels by law that are required to qualify for those particular exemptions. And then additionally, there are exemptions, especially for our disabled veterans, the veteran's surviving spouse, the surviving spouse of a peace officer or a firefighter that is killed in the line of duty. We also have what is known as a low income, or sometimes referred to as a poverty exemption. And in that exemption, the federal adjusted gross income of all of the residents in that household for the preceding taxable year cannot exceed 200% of the federal poverty level as established by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. So the issue there is how many people occupy the house and what is the totality of their adjusted gross income for that year. And so that's how the determination on qualification for that particular exemption stands. And as it exists in current law, that exemption does have to be renewed every 2 years. There may be a possibility of that changing through legislation, but currently a person has to renew every 2 years for that particular exemption. There is a new exemption for tax year 2023. It particularly applies to the Fulton school portion of your tax bill and reduces the value by $10,000. In order to be eligible for this exemption, you must be over 65 years of age, again, as of January 1, and you have to have been granted a homestead exemption in Fulton County for the past 5 years at the time of making the application. And of course, all these details and these qualifications are, again, through legislation and according to how the law itself was written at the time.
If we can't go back to that last slide for Fulton schools, so that also means they have to reside outside of the city of Atlanta. Or is that for Atlanta public schools as well?
My understanding is that that is for Fulton schools. I know Florence is on the line, but I think it's solely for Fulton schools.
Okay, so then that would be for anyone living outside of the city of Atlanta. In Atlanta, you have to go to Atlanta public schools. And so for Fulton schools, for Fulton County schools, then that would be for anyone outside the city of Atlanta. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. When we're talking about applying for a homestead exemption, the easiest way to apply is through our online filing, which is called Smart File. You can visit our website at fultonassessor.org. If you look under the exemptions tab, you can file your homestead exemption there online. It allows you to upload documents such as your driver's license, vehicle registration, income information, those types of things. And it also affords you the ability to correspond with homestead staff about the status of your homestead exemption through our Smart File application on the website. So for instance, if there's some documentation that is missing, that can be cleared up and clarified through that application as well. We do have several locations throughout the county where you can actually visit in person if you would like. We have 2 locations in the north end of the county in Alpharetta on Maxwell Road, the North Fulton Service Center on Roswell Road Northeast. We also have 2 locations in the south, South Fulton Service Center on Stonewall Tail Road in College Park, as well as the Greenbrier location. The Greenbrier location.
That's
sorry.
actually City of South Fulton, not College
Oh,
Park
okay,
on
I'm
South
sorry.
Fulton Service
I'm
Center.
sorry. Yeah, you're correct. I'm sorry. My apologies. We also have a new location at the Greenbrier Mall. It's only been open since October, I believe, and it's inside the tax commissioner's office there. Very nice location. And then downtown, of course, we have locations at the Government Center on the first floor, 141 Pryor Street, and also at the Peachtree Center. That's 235 Peachtree Street. That's actually the 14th floor, where our administrative offices are located. Beyond that, just talking about what you need in order to file for a homestead exemption. If it's a basic homestead exemption, the primary information you need to provide us is a valid Georgia driver's license or a Georgia identification card, your social security number, and the registration for vehicles owned by and registered by the property owner. If the property happens to be in the name of a trust, we need a trust affidavit. That document is actually located on our website as well under the Forms tab. And we're simply clarifying the fact there that that the person applying is actually an owner, and of course that they live there again. And then when it comes to special exemptions, whether it's a senior exemption or an income-based exemption, then we need state and federal tax returns or a Social Security award letter if you do not file for income tax. One caveat, of course, to all this is that your name must be on the deed in order to apply for the homestead exemption. You have to be the owner. And of course, again, you have to reside there. I did provide some information here. Again, if you want to apply online, fultonassessor.org under the exemptions tab. You'll basically create an account within our smart file application, and then you can follow the steps there to file your application online. Feel free to call us. Our main office number is 404-612-6440, and we're extension 4. Florence Brooks is our homestead manager. She does know all of the ins and outs of all of our homestead exemptions and is a great resource. I put her email address on the screen and her phone number at her desk. And then again, I'm James Kevin Whitman, the Deputy Chief Appraiser, and there is my email address, my phone number. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and we'll be glad to assist you in any way that we can to help you get your homestead exemption and get it applied for the current year. Again, April the 1st is the statutory deadline. And this year, the 1st falls on a Saturday. So again, you have until Monday the 3rd at 11:59 p.m. to file for 2023. That's all I have.
All right, well, thank you so much. That is great information for us to know and to share with the Fulton County residents. Hopefully everyone is paying attention and will take this information and share it so that everyone can take advantage of the exemptions that are available. Certainly thankful to you for being here to speak with us, and certainly thankful to our chief appraiser, our new chief appraiser, Mr. Roger Conley as well. So thank you to both of you and to Florence and your entire team for all of the great work that you do on behalf of the residents of Fulton County. I see Mr. Conley back there. How you doing, Mr. Conley? Great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. But yes, so we want everyone to make sure that you take advantage of the homestead exemption and other exemptions that may be available to you. Again, deadline this year is Monday, April 3rd, due to the fact that April 1st falls on a Saturday. I believe that's all that we have on our agenda.
We would like to open it up for questions.
Yes, I'm gonna say, let's go open it up for any questions that anyone may have in the audience. You can type them into the chat so that we can read them aloud and share them and try to provide answers while we got the experts on here.
And while we wait for questions, Mr. Connolly, if you would greet our audience, we would love to introduce you to everyone that's in the new District 5.
Thank you. Hope everyone's having a great afternoon. Mr. Whitman did a very excellent job, a very thorough job in explaining to you guys what's available to you guys as it relates to the homestead exemption. I want to make sure we highlight not only Mr. Whitman but also his staff, Ms. Florence, all the managers and all the tax clerks that we have available that's willing to assist you taxpayers of Fulton County. We're always looking for ways to enhance our taxpayer experience. So don't be surprised if you see new initiatives through coming up in the next year or so that will make your experience even better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Conley, our new Fulton County Chief Appraiser. And of course, thanks, Florence, for all that you do in helping keep everybody organized and on task.
Well,
So,
Commissioner, I don't see any questions coming into the chat.
Okay, how about comments, criticisms, concerns? We'll take it all. We want your input. And we want to hear from you. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, please share them.
We have a question now. Denise Mundy, clarification. Do you have to be 65 and over to apply for low-level assessments?
You're talking about the poverty exemption, I assume, the income based.
I don't know.
We have an exemption at age 62 with the income limit of $10,000, net income of $10,000. All the other exemptions is at age 65. You have to be 65 on January 1.
Jim.
And they're different exemptions. Well, no, they're different age exemptions, right? What are the different ages?
We have 62, 65, and 70.
Okay, so different exemptions at 62, 65, and 70. So if you apply for one at 62, unfortunately, when you turn 65, you have to apply for that one as well. And then when you turn 70, you have to apply for that one.
That's correct.
With the normal homestead exemption, you just apply once and it applies forever. But with those different age restrictions, you have to apply upon turning each age.
Now with the normal exemption, if you make any changes to the title of the property, you would need to reapply. For instance, you put it in the trust, you have to reapply. If you get married and your original application doesn't have your spouse, change your last name, you need to reapply and add your spouse to the exemption.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Comments, criticisms, concerns, feedback, suggestions?
So next week,
Well,
Monday and Tuesday, we will have in-person town halls to discuss the tax exemptions, the homestead exemptions. We will be in Fairburn and also Palmetto. So if we don't have any other further questions, and we will come into the community in July to do the tax assessments. And so that's another vehicle, but that will be addressed in July. Commissioner, you gonna take us
all right,
out?
well, thank you everyone for joining us for this, our first homestead town hall, homestead exemption town hall. As discussed, we will have 3 more. March 13th. What are those dates again, Dorsha? March 13th, March 16th,
No,
Okay, March
it's
13th,
the
11
13th
a.m.
and 14th.
Right, March 13th, 11 a.m. at the New Beginning Senior Center in Fairburn. March 14th, 6 p.m. At the Palmetto Library. And then again on March 23rd, we'll have a public safety forum with Councilwoman Helen Willis from the city of South Fulton, Chief Meadows from the city of South Fulton, and Sheriff Patrick Labatt. And that will be at Friendship Community Church. So we look forward to seeing you all. We thank you all for joining us tonight. May God bless you and your families.